Ladies and gentlemen, please throw your hands in the air for the greatest podcast on earth when it comes to music, sports, and culture. Disabled is Abled with your host, Eli and Fredy. So put your hands together if you are ready to get the show started. Let's go. Peace. Welcome to another episode of Disabled is Able, where we, the disabled, display our superpowers. I'm Dad. I'm here with Eli.
Yep.
Fredy is taking a winter class.
Yeah, he is.
So shout out to Fredy.
And we'll hold it down for him.
We're going to hold it down for him. We're very big on education here.
Yes, and he will be back soon. Don't worry.
And he will be back soon. In the meantime, in the between time, we got to get down to what we got to get down for.
Yeah, crazy week.
Crazy week in sports, but that's the way we like it.
That's the way we like it. That's
right?
the way we like it.
That's the way we like it. Let's get right down to it. NBA action. LaMelo Ball is the youngest player to ever record a triple-double in NBA history.
Clap that up for him.
Clap that up. 19 years old.
19 years old. I feel like that's going to keep breaking for a while.
Yes.
Because, eventually you can come out of high school when that rule is established.
Yes.
I know they're working on that
but not to downplay
his achievement.
His achievement at 19 years old. He's coming off the bench for the Charlotte Hornets.
Me and you have been debating that off the scene because you want him to stay on the bench. I kind of want him to start.
Right. I think some of the pressure of not starting is why his transition has been easy.
True.
So a lot of times you come in as a number 1 pick, number 2 pick, or whatever.
And you start immediately.
And you're under pressure immediately. Right. So I think Jordan and his team did a great job of saying, while we're watching him in practice, he probably deserves to start. But let's bring him off the bench so to take a little bit of pressure off.
Makes the bench a little bit better.
Makes your bench better, and it gives him an opportunity to watch the game develop.
Right.
Since he's a multi-component kind of player.
Yeah, kind of two-way player.
Right. He probably got to work on his defense, but that's usually the case.
But with that height and that size, it shouldn't be too hard because he's about 6'7", maybe about 6'6", 6'7".
Yes.
Because of his height.
And I want to say his dad did a great job of preparing this guy because he's NBA ready.
He is, and I definitely had him flourishing way more than his 2 older brothers.
I actually thought Lonzo would be better.
I feel like JJ Redick is helping him with that because I think it's just with his shot.
Got you.
It's not with his IQ. It's not with his handles.
Right.
He's just not that as confident with his shot. Now, remember that little weird shot that he
it was very weird. Yes.
I believe JJ Redick is helping him just fix that and just shoot just normally.
Got you.
They did play against each other for the first time.
I saw that.
I believe Friday.
LaMelo got the best of him. And he got the win.
So hopefully in the next matchup, Lonzo proves, because I'm thinking Lonzo's been in this league now for about 4 seasons.
No, this is like his third to fourth season. Yeah.
So I don't really know, but we'll see what happens. Also too, LaMelo's been helping the Charlotte Hornets win.
Yeah, they've been winning ball games. And later on, if they decide to move him into the starting lineup, that's fine.
Right.
But I think the longer he stays on the bench,
the more it gives him confidence.
Right, confidence, and he could be up for 6th man of the year
and rookie
of the year at the same time.
And they have the other young guy, Graham,
who's playing very well.
He's playing well. They have Teddy Rozier as their point.
Rozier is proven,
and Gordon Hayward is doing Gordon.
And
Hayward.
That's been the silent assassin for them. Has been Gordon Hayward.
Right.
He's really settled in because I think he's now the number 1 option.
Yeah.
In Utah, he was the number 1 option.
Right.
When he got to Boston, he became like the number 2
or 3,
2.5, and then remember he had the injury.
Right.
First game of the season, breaks his ankle.
Right.
So that created a vacuum within that team.
It kind of just went down from here, but now, and especially in that division and in that with the Charlotte Hornets, anything happens.
Listen, if he doesn't break his ankle and Kyrie has a great year, Boston maybe win the championship that year.
Are you saying without Kyrie getting hurt, or are you saying even with Kyrie getting hurt?
No, without Kyrie getting hurt, just that team on paper looked like it was going to be a great team. Yeah. So we're going to keep our eye on Charlotte.
Yeah, definitely.
All right? Bradley Beal scored 101 points in his last 2 games.
Yeah. It's gone up since
and
then.
they were both losses, weren't they?
And they were both losses. It has gone up since then. Because he's been dropping.
He dropped 38.
He dropped 38, and then another 40-point game after that.
Yeah, so he's been on a tear. But he said we can't guard parked cars right now.
Yeah.
So his concern is with the defense, and defense is about effort.
I thought that was definitely going to improve with Russell Westbrook being a point guard,
right,
and being so aggressive,
right.
But then against the Washington Wizards,
and if you don't have interior defense,
right.
you know.
And I'm thinking, besides Russell and Beal, I don't know if they have that much help.
Absolutely, I need to really look down at their roster to see if there's any, because if teams know they just need to take away Russell or take away Beal, then that makes it easier for them to.
It makes you a one-dimensional team.
Absolutely, young man, a one-dimensional squad.
But I do think with him going off and with, the assets that the Lakers do have, he could eventually be in a better situation.
Now we talking. Now we're cooking with hot grease, young man. I mean, because LeBron has been putting this guy T.H. Thornton, I forget his first name.
Yeah, but he's
on display.
Right.
He's been getting a lot of playing time.
I know they're gonna put Kuzma in that package.
They're gonna put Kuzma. They're gonna package them. Maybe Caldwell Pope, and that should be enough with a draft pick for them to get Beal. Either Beal, Zach LaVine,
or DeRozan,
or DeMar DeRozan. I think are on the Lakers' radar before they make the final push towards the playoffs.
Is Russell Westbrook's career over?
No, because he still can put the ball in the basket. I think he has mental blocks as well. Right. I think he goes through mental blocks where he can't make a shot,
right.
And it affects the rest of his game. Because he was just the league MVP not too long ago.
Yeah,
he was just the first guy to have a triple double for a season.
Yeah. And then he did it for 2 more seasons.
So that's a lot of value.
But I'm looking. The only reason why I ask that is, one, because I'm not that big of a Westbrook fan, and two, everywhere he's gone, it hasn't really panned out for him. He hasn't put a team on his back to where I'm like looking at them as a 3rd or 4th seed.
I tell you what, if he goes to a team where it's already established, let's say he went to the Lakers,
right?
Let's say they blindside everybody and they take Russell Westbrook,
right?
And he put him at the 2. Right, you got Schroeder at the 1. Say, look, Russell, we don't want you handling the ball except when we need it.
Yeah.
What he would bring for them for hustle,
as a shooting guard, yeah.
And what LeBron could do for him for his confidence.
Right.
Calm down. Look behind you. You got Anthony Davis.
You got me.
You got me.
Yeah.
You got veterans behind you. Don't come out of pocket.
Right.
Stay within your game.
Because I thought that was going to work for Houston. They had the shooters and they had James Harden.
They did, but I feel D'Antoni's philosophy
right
on how to win ball games,
shooting just a bunch of threes and not really
shooting a bunch of threes, and it puts in the mindset of these guys, I want to play for D'Antoni because he just wants us to shoot.
Right.
But real championship caliber coaches, they want you to defend.
Right, and not just shoot a bunch of threes, just look for the easy shot.
Right. If it's a 2 available, take it.
Right.
All of these
shooting a bunch of from the perimeter.
Yeah, the analytics of the game has changed the game. And remember, Houston was one of those teams that dealt a lot with the analytics.
Right.
So as a result of that, it's poisoned the minds of a lot of these players.
So I mean, what are your, if you don't think his career is over, what are your expectations for him then?
He needs to get to a team where he's the 3rd option, and he needs to buy into the fact that he's the 3rd option.
Right.
See, to me, it didn't work with him and
Kevin Durant
and not Kevin Durant. That worked. That worked for a certain degree. At least they were in contention all the time. He needs to get somewhere. It didn't work with him and Harden because Harden is a volume shooter.
Right.
And it's hard for me to defend these shots you keep putting up all the time.
Yeah.
And then you're not defending. He needs to go somewhere. And I just thought about that where he could be the 3rd option.
Right. And he has to also, his ego has to step aside.
Absolutely. But that when you get older, you want to win now.
Right.
So you have to step back. Are the Brooklyn Nets in trouble?
Yeah.
What are they, 5-7 now?
They're 5-7. They just lost to OKC the night before.
Yes.
On top of them as a team, losing a couple games. There's some off the court issues
with Kyrie Irving. He vanished for a while.
They said he's off the grid. The team doesn't know where he is.
Right.
And he didn't alert Steve Nash not one time but 2 times.
Yes.
And then now there's reports coming out that he was at a party.
Yes, some photos were taken that he was at a party for his sister or his dad. He didn't have a mask on, which meant he was violating protocol, which could put the other players in danger. So they have this very strict protocol
because
even when you're off the court as an NBA player.
Last week, Kevin Durant was on protocol,
right,
for the same
exact thing. So now Kevin is back, and we don't know where Kyrie is.
Kevin's been doing his job as Kevin Durant.
Yeah, because Kevin also has to work himself back into shape, right, mentally and physically.
But them as a team, don't get me wrong, LeVert has been doing well. I believe they're missing
Dinwiddie
with the ACL tear.
Harris can play because one of those games they didn't have Kevin Durant or Kyrie, and they played well.
LeVert went off for 43 points.
Right, which means there's potential there. So I think the Nets are going to be okay. I think we wishing Kyrie the best because we love Kyrie Irving up here.
Yeah.
We wishing whatever it is he's mentally going through, he gets it together.
I think he needs to stop the shenanigans now.
Yes.
Because this is the 3rd time now that I've heard the same report, even in Cleveland. But LeBron held that
secret
under wraps.
Yes, and even in Boston, there were issues. So at some point,
they have so much young talent. But this is the 3rd time I'm thinking, okay, you're playing in your hometown. You're on the team that you originally wanted to be on.
Yes.
Remember, Boston wasn't even on his list with the trade.
Right.
And you're playing with your best friend, so-called.
Right.
Kevin Durant. What is the issue now? Don't get me wrong. You need to balance your political stance and your being an athlete.
Because I don't even know if this was political. This seems to be about birthday parties.
No. Originally they said it was political. They said that the incident in the
Capitol Hill situation
messed up with his psyche.
Okay, here's the thing, because we're gonna get a chance to talk to Kyrie, and I want you to tell him just that. It's nothing personal, but we need you to stay focused, right?
Because because you can't take advantage of. He's basically abusing his power.
Yes.
As a superstar. Because if let's say Joe Harris was to do that,
it would be repercussions.
He would get suspended for at least 3 games.
Yeah.
Had to come out with a press conference saying,
and focus when you letting things off the court bother you. Besides maybe like a death in the family,
right,
or something like that. That means you really need to get focused because there's so much going on in the real world. Basketball is supposed to be his escape.
Right, from the real world.
Right.
I can ball, give you 45, and dip.
Yes.
So,
All right, Lakers are still rolling. They had one glitch. We lost to... Who was that? We lost to Portland. No, not Portland. Our 3rd loss last week that really pissed off Anthony Davis. He said our defense was suffering, so he came out the next game and put on a defensive masterpiece.
Okay.
The Lakers have this thing. They don't want to lose 2 games in a row for a season.
They have Houston tonight.
Right. They're 8-3 right now. I believe they will continue to roll and get better.
Yeah.
I believe with the 5 or 6 new pieces, we still got to get them acclimated to what our mission is.
Right.
LeBron hasn't taken any games off.
No. But I still think he's going to be cherry picking until like March.
Yes.
Maybe late February. Because he knows, look, I got Anthony Davis. You're going to handle most of the heavy loading. I have some dogs now.
Yes.
Like I said, last year was
they lost to San Antonio. That was the 3rd time playing San
that was the 3rd time. But because the previous 2 times they beat them.
Right.
So I wasn't really mad about that. I think this is the first time that he has dogs since last year.
Yes.
Because last year I felt like he didn't have no dogs.
Yes.
And I think they'll get back in the swing of things. They have Houston tonight. Boogie Cousins is bugging.
Yeah.
He's been getting tech. Now here's the thing. His reputation
precedes him. I'm just glad that he's playing.
Yeah, I am too.
But
at a certain point, I'm thinking now, if you're gonna keep getting texts for just your reputation, why just stop playing defense? Because most of his texts come on him trying to play defense.
Well, he has to play some kind of defense. He has to attempt to play defense, or the coaches is not going to put you out there.
True.
So he has to give an effort.
I'm just thinking,
he's in the same situation, but he's in the same situation as Kevin Durant. He has to work his body back into shape. And when you can't move the way you want to, you know what you play defense with? Your arms and your hands.
Right.
And that's where the fouls come. When you play defense with your feet, getting your feet in front of your opponent.
And I just thought about that. That's
right, but when I get beat, you know what I do? I reach out.
That's going to be a problem for Clay for the first couple of years.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you know, at least when he comes back. Last piece of the NBA, 4 Maverick players test positive for COVID-19.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah, it's been a lot.
I
of
know Kristaps Porzingis is making his debut.
He's making his debut.
So let's clap that up. Coming home off an injury. And there was reports recently, as recent as today, that the NBA was thinking about quarantining the whole NBA for 14 days.
Yeah.
And they voted against it. They voted to keep playing because it's so hard. It only takes one player.
Right.
And can infect the whole team. So how they're going to go about it is going to be tough.
And I'm thinking about this now. It's different than football because in football you have 53 players.
Right.
And it's only 11 players going out there on the field. And
you have a practice squad.
Right.
Where you can bring players in. So it's 53 active players.
Right.
Another 10, 15 that y'all use just for practice.
Right.
So you can always supplement that.
But in basketball, you lose 8 players. Like Philly lost 8 players.
Oh, they lost. No, you have to have 8 players in uniform. So if you lose 5, it's a 12-man roster.
Right.
Or 15-man roster. They give you 3, you know.
Right.
And if you lose a few players, you could.
Because I know in Philly,
lose a game.
When they lost their whole starting lineup.
Yes.
Because of the COVID situation.
Yeah, Dwight Howard had to play point guard.
So do you think that they should have considered the 14-day?
No, I think you lose too many games and you lose too much traction.
Right.
But
everybody's in motion now.
But they have to get all of these players to buy into. After you play the game, you have to go home.
Yeah.
And you have to quarantine.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do what you normally do, you know, hit the clubs, party, go out to dinner.
Right.
That's what creates the scary situation.
It's also probably going to force them to take more vaccine shots.
Right. So
which I'm pretty sure some players are not down to do.
Yeah, but you know, to each his own. You know.
Because there's a side effect.
But for that kind of money, then you may need to do that.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
And we are back. Let's talk MLB baseball a little bit.
Yeah.
The Padres trade Blake Snell.
What they traded for? They
traded for Blake Snell and Yu Darvish.
Yeah.
I think that's going to improve.
Those are 2 big pitchers.
And remember, they got what's the hitter? Manny Machado.
Yeah, Manny Machado. Yes.
Who we said when he went to the Padres.
We was like that was a weird move because I thought
they paid him all that money.
They did.
But now they're gonna seem like they're trying to back that up.
Right.
By bringing in 2 quality pitchers.
Blake is from Tampa Bay.
Yes.
And Yu Darvish is from the Dodgers, I believe.
Yes.
So those are 2 best pitchers in the MLB right now.
Yeah, and we know this is all about pitching.
Right.
Especially late in October.
Right. And if you have a pitcher for game 1 and game 7,
you pretty much good.
The rest of those games, you got
to get some hitting involved and other stuff.
Right.
But having 2, and I'm pretty sure they already have an ace or ace-like player on the staff already.
Right. So now that gives you 3.
That gives you 3, and if you get a good a bullpen going, you got something happening.
Yeah.
DJ LaMelo is getting impatient with the Yankees and their slow play tactics. He feels that he should be paid like a superstar.
Right.
And the Yankees
are holding up.
Cash is usually Brian Cashman usually takes his time.
Yeah. But like you said, like his father would just pay him.
Oh, right. If he felt like Steinbrenner would just pay you.
Right.
But his sons, his sons seem to be more about the business aspect.
Right.
When George Sr. was about putting the best players on the field to give my fans the enjoyment that they need.
Right.
But I can't argue with Brian Cashman's record. He just hasn't won nothing in a while.
Right. I do think that DJ will eventually resign. because of the holdout and because teams are pretty much already set up, which is why the Yankees are holding out, because they were going to wait for all the other players to join the other teams, hold out on DJ, eventually, because it works. I guess it works opposite in baseball. The longer you hold out, the more the money goes down.
Yes.
And the players are no longer available.
Yes.
Kind of pulling the Kawhi Leonard on how he
absolutely.
But this time it's benefiting the Yankees. They'll eventually work out on the deal.
And what else do the Yankees need? We need an ace.
Yeah, and because I believe we got rid of Chapman.
Yes, I hope so, because he just can't.
He kept throwing the games away.
He kept throwing the meatball, man. He kept throwing the meatball. And
I miss Rivera so much.
Oh man, I miss Rivera.
I miss Rivera
so much. I really do. And so let's talk the Mets. The Mets pull off a blockbuster trade, trading for Francisco Lindor of the Cleveland Indians and Carlos Carrasco, who was probably just thrown in as a part of the deal.
Right.
This is a 4-time All-Star shortstop.
Yeah, he
can hit the ball out of the park.
He's one of the top 3. He's with the Mike Trouts and the Mookie Betts.
Yeah, so for them to get him now, the goal now is to get him to extend his contract.
Right.
And the Mets' new ownership, Cohen, they're making moves.
Yeah,
they said they're not going to sit idle. They have a new billionaire owner who's ready to change the culture, and even he's after DJ LeMahieu. LaMelo. So we have to pay close attention because that will be a steal.
Yeah, and George Springer is still on the board.
George Springer
from the Astros.
Oh, he's still on the board. Okay, got you.
He hasn't signed with anybody yet.
So these are some of the moves, and I'm a diehard Yankee fan, but the Mets are trying to say,
there's a new chef in town.
There's a new We think it's time now for the Mets to make their move, and in baseball, it can happen. It can happen just that fast.
All you need is great pitching, and then some decent hitters. Because anybody in baseball and football, anybody can really win the World Series.
Yes,
I've seen that the last 2 years.
Right. A team can come from nowhere and really get it done. Yep.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
All right, so let's get right down to the college game that was off the hook last night.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was really off the hook because
it was off the hook for one team.
Yeah, Alabama.
Crushes,
roll tide.
They crush
Ohio State.
52-24, and the game wasn't even that close.
No, and the Heisman winner
Devontae Smith.
He got 3 touchdowns, 215 yards
in the first half.
He had more yards than the entire Ohio State team.
Absolutely.
In the first half. And they said Nick Saban was saying that if they were able to pop his finger back in,
he would have went out and played.
Who knows how many yards he would have gotten.
Oh, no, absolutely. He would have obliterated all the records. So Alabama's just that good.
Yeah.
And that's the 7th one for Nick Saban, 6th as an Alabama, Crimson Tide.
The 4 teams that I've seen beat Alabama, how were they able to beat them?
Because no team is invincible. So every now and then other teams, because what they do is, if Alabama is the benchmark, then I'm looking to get all the other top players that don't go to Alabama, build a powerhouse, and remember, it's any given Sunday.
True.
Or in this case, any given Monday. And if I'm better than you for that game, then, I'm better than you.
I think,
and it wouldn't be fair if Alabama won every year.
Yeah, well, shoot, they almost won almost every year.
Yeah, well, they're always in the mix.
That gives Nick Saban 7-6 with the Alabama, 1 with LSU, I believe.
Climb that up, man.
7. Oh my God.
So he is what we call a born winner.
How many championships do you want? Like, I get it because he has so much freedom to do whatever he wants in the college.
They don't mess with him.
But
and if he loves what he does,
it's like Bill Belichick. Yeah.
And if I'm going to coach, I might as well put the best team I can put out there.
Right.
See, the advantage that Saban has is he gets to go buy the groceries.
Right.
He gets to draft these players himself.
Right.
So he knows they're good. The NFL don't work that way. You have to, based on your record, determines where you pick in the draft. And it could be a number of other issues, salary caps, and monies that's spent. Where in college nobody's getting paid.
I believe the Fields, the Ohio State quarterback, that hit that he took a couple weeks ago,
yes,
kind of messed him up. Because I did see him get taken down to tackled to the ground, and that he went right to his ribs.
Yep. But I don't think it would have made much of a difference.
No.
It may have made the game a little closer.
Yeah.
But much of a difference.
No, but
not much.
Once Smith went for 3 touchdowns and blew that lead open.
Yeah, then
and I forgot he got the game-winning touchdown 3 years ago against Georgia.
Was it Devontae?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was that wide receiver.
Wow.
It was his rookie year.
Wow.
In the overtime game.
So he's going to draft high.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody's going to get them an awesome wide receiver.
Definitely.
Yep. So let's talk NFL action.
We
had the wild card weekend. I think you were 5-1 with your.
Yes, I was.
I was 4-2. The Colts beat the Bills. The Bills beat the Colts 27-24. Very close game.
Very close game. That the big call in the entire game was, first of all, I feel like Rivers didn't play his best until he was down 14 points.
Got you.
And then he was like, okay, now we gotta kind of put the pressure on them. Scored 2 quick touchdowns, right?
And almost got them in position.
Almost
for a
got
field
them
goal.
in position for a field goal. There was a fumble call that the Bills got that they had to overturn, which I did think was a fumble, but they were saying, and I said, okay, if the coach scored his touchdown on this drive,
then that's going to be
the call
that we all look back on.
Right. Bills ended up pulling that out. I think Rivers should consider retiring now.
Yeah, I think he's proven that he's been a quality quarterback, but he just can't win the business.
And my problem is, my only critique with him is, he's a trash talker, but you can never back it up when it matters most.
Got you. He's fiery.
And I love that about him. But dude, you only do his only real wins were only in the regular season. When you get to the playoffs, you can never get
over the hump. Yeah,
too far.
Yeah. And I always not to
pile on.
Yeah, pile on or even support him. He only played one side of the ball.
Right.
So
defense also too. Yeah.
There are a lot of factors in how you win ball games in football. You can have a great quarterback, but if you have a lousy defense and your quarterback has to always climb uphill.
Yeah.
When I look at the Chargers for many of those years, only 1 or 2 of those years I felt they really got a chance.
Yeah.
And they still blew those.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Buffalo has another home game.
Yes.
This week coming up. I like how they're playing so far. I don't know. I need Josh Allen to play a lot better.
We'll talk about that when we get to the second round action. Seahawks lose to the Rams.
Yeah.
I think I was surprised by this one. 30-20.
I definitely was. I was surprised by how bad Russell Wilson was playing.
Yes, he played one of his worst games
I've ever seen.
The first 6 or 7 games, he was in the MVP.
Definitely was, but then those last 5 weeks,
he played bad.
They won. They went 4. I think they went 4-2.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't a
convincing.
It wasn't a bona fide. The Rams ended up winning that last game of the season, which got them in.
Right, so they came in with momentum.
Right.
Yes.
And I even thought they were still going to be able to win because Goff, first of all, their backup had a concussion.
Yes.
With a big hit in the beginning of the game, which brought Goff into the game. But Goff dislocated his thumb on his throwing hand, which means he can't really throw as well.
Right. And then in that cold weather, when he go to Buffalo.
Right.
No.
Green Bay.
Green Bay. It's frozen up there.
Right.
Frozen tundra. And that may play a role in it.
As well as I've seen Russell Wilson run to his left or his right and throw that cannon, he could not.
But we had Donaldson breathing down his neck.
Yeah.
And that front four.
Yeah.
And Donaldson is hurt for the next game. I think he cracked a rib or something. I don't know what the official report
Hopefully he plays, because if not...
But if he don't play, well, I don't think they're going to have a chance anyway, but we'll speak about that.
No, but I'm thinking, if you can get that much pressure on Russell Wilson, you can definitely get that much pressure on Aaron.
But not with cracked ribs.
Yeah.
And the guy in front of you pushing your cracked ribs.
True.
So we have to see how that plays out.
But impressed with the Rams.
Yes, impressed. The Bucks beat the Washington football team.
Yeah.
31-23, close game.
Close game. I like the backup. I like what he was doing.
Yes, and I was surprised that Alex Smith, I didn't know, had strained his leg or something.
I believe in practice.
And this rookie came in and played with confidence.
Yeah, McKinney, I believe.
Heineke. Heineke.
Yeah.
So he may have a job for himself.
Yeah. Either on that squad or
another squad.
I
think it could be this squad because Alex Smith, come on, how much more can he play?
Yeah, well, he had the. I know he's gonna win the backup, the comeback story of the year.
Yes. And they got rid of Dwayne Haskins.
Right. Yeah.
So they just cut him. Yeah, so to me, the lane is wide open for Heineke.
Yeah,
to prove that he can.
He definitely proved, and there was a couple plays where I thought he was definitely gonna get sacked. Got out of the pocket.
He showed some mobile dexterity.
and yeah, so well, once again, Tom Brady's Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady executed down the stretch, and Tom Brady gets the job done. We had the Ravens and Titans. I took the Titans in this one at home. I thought that they would be able to establish the running game, but they couldn't.
Yeah, my man Derrick Henry only had 40 yards for 18 attempts,
which means that the Ravens bought in that we will not let him beat us. Somebody else may be able to beat us, but we're not going to let him beat us.
I still think Lamar Jackson is overrated. Not in terms of his talent, just in terms of how he can throw the football. He can't throw the football.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he just can't throw the football.
Right. I agree.
But I did think quarterback for quarterback, he's a better quarterback than Ryan Tannehill.
Yes.
And Ryan Tannehill can only work the way he works if the running game can go for 200 yards.
Right. The running game sets that play action.
Because then you can do the play action. You have wide receivers, and they have great wide receivers. But if your man can't go off,
then it makes him more of a passer,
right?
Over passer, and that's not
how he plays.
Qualified to do so. The Ravens.
I knew the Ravens were going to get paid back. I didn't know that in Week 11 earlier this year, that season, the Titans were stepping on the logo.
Yes.
They had personal beef.
So, and this is why after the game, Lamar Jackson didn't even shake their hands.
Yeah, no.
He went straight to the locker room. He didn't want no parts of them. So these two teams have personal beef.
And congratulations on Lamar's first win.
Yes. Clap that up. Finally get that monkey off your back.
Which I didn't. I was surprised.
I think they were overplaying it. He had 2 playoff losses.
Which was the first one?
It seemed like he was in the league for 10 years.
What was the first one?
I forget.
Because I know the second one was the Titans last year.
Right. I forget, but they made it seem like he's been in the playoffs 7 years in a row.
And never got a win. I'm like, bro, he's 20. He's 23, 22 years old.
Right, so that was overrated.
Y'all didn't think he was not going to get a win?
Yeah. Then the Saints beat the Bears.
Yeah,
which we knew they would. 21 to
Mike Trubisky is a
9. Mike Trubisky is the quarterback. But with Khalil Mack and some other defensive players.
I don't know what happened to Khalil Mack, but he didn't even seem like he was on the field.
Yeah,
the entire game. Now,
interesting.
Granted, the first half of that game, it was 7-0. Mike Trubisky did throw it in the end zone, and his man just dropped it.
Yes.
I'm not blaming that on him.
Mm-hmm.
And they definitely had a shot to win because the defense was aggressive. Not talking about Khalil Mack, just the defense in total.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely thought that they could have the upside, but it took too long for them to
and get any kind of momentum.
And then they started playing conservative in the second half.
Yes. And
that's not how you're going to win a football game.
You're not going to beat Drew Brees in the dome with that attitude. It's just not going to happen. And the last game was the shocker.
Yeah.
Now,
well, shocker for you, but
even if the Steelers lost,
I
didn't expect them to get pounced like that.
True.
Now, to their credit, they cut this to 6 points at one point.
No, it was down to 12, and it was a 4th and 1. And I think everybody on Pittsburgh's side was like, go for it.
And they didn't go for it.
They punted it.
And that
you had momentum.
Because they came out the gate 28-0.
Oh, easy.
The first snap of the game resulted in a touchdown.
I think first team in NFL history to have 28 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's the Cleveland Browns.
Yes, and they look like the more loose team. They look like the team who wanted it more.
And it reminded me of Super Bowl 48 where the first snap, the game was over.
Oh, with the Peyton Manning. Yeah. You knew from that snap right there that it was going to be a long
it was going to be a long night for them.
A long night. So, let's pick up Cleveland. They make it.
I think their first win since 1994.
Yeah, something's way out there. You know what I mean? So I think that they will do well. And so let's get into next week's divisional round action.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite week because
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
Why is this your favorite week?
This is my favorite week because none of the games start at 1 o'clock.
Yes.
Because that 1 o'clock game was killing me.
Yeah, true that.
I'm sorry. I'm a late bird, guys. I don't do early time. I do afternoon time.
Yes.
First game, Rams in Green Bay, 4:15 Saturday.
I have Green Bay winning this game. I'm going to say 35-21. They'll win by 2 touchdowns in this game.
I agree.
And I think the frozen tundra, the weather will be cold. I think the screws inside of Goff's hand may cause problems. And I don't know if the other quarterback is going to come off concussion protocol.
I don't.
So I think Green Bay moves one step closer. And they have the home field advantage.
And
so
I
it's going to have to
this
go to
was
Green
going to
Bay.
be the best opportunity for Aaron Rodgers to get to the Super Bowl. Because if you have... If you had this game and next week's game in your building,
yes,
you have a shot.
He's never had that.
Right, because I believe
the year they won it, he was a wild card team.
No, it is that and the 15-1 season. Eli went into Lambeau and beat him.
Absolutely.
They were 15-1 guys. They had only lost one game.
Yes, I remember,
and
that was the magical year for the Giants.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're not gonna talk about the rest of that, but yeah, I have the Packers too. Same score. Second game, Ravens, Buffalo. This is a toss-up. I mean, 2 young quarterbacks. Bills have the better offense. I'll give the Ravens the better defense.
I'm gonna take the Bills in this one. I think it's their time. They're gonna take advantage of these 2 home games. It's a close game. I'm gonna say 24-21. Bills.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 24-27 kickoff win for the Bills. They win by a field goal.
Yeah. So we'll both take the Bills in that one.
But I don't think we'll both be surprised.
No, we will not be surprised if the Ravens get that job done.
Okay.
I just think if they force, it's hard to force Lamar Jackson into a one-dimensional game because he's the quarterback.
Right.
So that option play they run.
Yeah,
it's very dangerous. Yeah, that wildcat
and
option.
You can't. His speed is ridiculous.
No. His speed is like off the chart. You saw that run?
Yeah.
That touchdown run?
Yeah, I'm not. No, yeah. I'm very. But if you can force him to throw, you got a shot.
Yeah.
Because he can't throw as a quarterback.
Right.
Sunday's game, 3:15, Browns versus Chiefs. Chiefs.
Browns versus Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm gonna give the Browns a shooter's chance.
Okay.
But I think Kansas City can smell dynasty now.
Yeah.
I think this hit.
Yeah.
If they have to come out and establish, they have to send a message that it comes through Kansas City, and I think Mahomes will be focused. I think they'll find some loopholes in that defense, and I think he'll be 1 touchdown better than the Browns. It's not a blowout.
Than Baker.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it may boil down to who has the ball last.
Because let's be real, if the coin toss goes his way, his rookie year, they'd be going on a 3-peat right now.
Absolutely.
Working on a 3-peat.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna pick the Chiefs by 3 touchdowns.
3 holds. They're gonna win by 21 points.
Yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes is going to show. I think he's gonna go for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Okay.
Now here's the thing: the only shot the Browns do have is that the Chiefs' defense. If they do not show up,
got you.
Their defense is not as good as I thought it was going to end up being.
Mm-hmm.
And they can also put up 45 points. Like their offense.
They can.
So if they can catch a couple breaks from their defense, talking about Cleveland stopping Patrick Mahomes, then. But other than that, I think Patrick delivers.
Okay, so we both have the Chiefs.
Yeah. The biggest game to me, Tom Brady versus Drew Brees.
Ooh, 2 iconic quarterbacks, Hall of Fame, who ranked number 1 or 2 in most of the statistical categories.
Right. Buccaneers, Saints, divisional rivalries, and this is the 3rd time facing off against each other.
And the Bucks have lost the
both
first
times.
2.
Yeah.
Who you got?
I got Tom Brady. I don't think he's gonna lose to Drew Brees a 3rd time. Also, to me, Tom delivers more in the big ones. Drew Brees has not really.
I too am gonna take Tom Brady by field goal. It's gonna be close.
I'll take Tom by a touchdown.
I say 21-18 or 20-17, something along those lines.
Yeah.
In a close game.
Would you be surprised if?
I would not be surprised if the Saints won. Of course not.
No. I was saying, would you be surprised if the Bucs put up 45 points? Like
No. I would not be surprised. Tom Brady would have to be on his game. He has the weapons.
Yeah.
With Gronk and Evans and AD.
So what?
AB, he has the weapons.
What do you think Drew Brees needs to do in order to beat Tom in this matchup?
He needs to keep Tom on the sideline.
Yeah.
So he needs to have Kamala run that ball. Yeah. Kamala Harris is his name?
Kamara. I know his last name is Kamara.
I'm speaking to the damn vice president.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah.
And he needs Thomas is back. So
Thomas is back. He needs to. Yeah.
So that's why I say it's going to be a close game, and it could boil down to who has the ball last.
Okay, so we both had the Packers.
Yep.
We both had the Bills.
Yep.
Both had the Chiefs.
Yep.
And both had the Buccaneers.
Yes.
All right, boom.
Yep. We'll see where that goes.
It's going to be an exciting weekend.
You're listening to the sounds of Disabled is Abled podcast.
In culture, there's a new couple alert. Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey. Clap that up. I didn't see this one coming.
I didn't either. She's been around.
Yeah, she's been around, but maybe she's now settled in.
I mean, I don't know if we would call that settling in, because I mean, as a celebrity, you know the dating history. Like I already know your dating history before we even get together. You know the same thing, but you know mine.
Yep.
Right. But I'm just thinking too, like if we're homies, well, I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see how it works out. Also, Kevin Hart has a new Netflix deal. Let's clap that up.
Oh,
where his movies, all of his movies now are going to debut on Netflix.
Okay. Are these future films?
Yeah, future films and specials and things that he does. So he has that deal with Netflix. It seems like Netflix is...
I think Netflix is the new place for...
Sewing up a lot they have Eddie Murphy, they have Dave Chappelle, and now they have Kevin Hart.
They came out with some releases for some new movies in 2021.
Let me get them.
They are, I believe, Coming to America 2.
Oh, that's coming out in March on Prime TV. That's going to be funny. Looks funny.
Yeah, definitely. I know they have The Black Widow.
Okay.
That was supposed to come out in 2020, but
that's X-Men or Avenger?
No, that's Marvel.
Marvel.
So,
All right, well, where can we be reached?
Sorry, I can't find it right now. My bad, guys. We can be reached on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at Disabled Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. I need my subscribers to go up, guys. I know.
We need those subscribers up. Help us out.
Like, I need you guys to subscribe. All right?
Help us out.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Gentlemen, please throw your hands in the air for the greatest podcast on earth when it comes to music, sports, and culture. Disabled is Abled with your host, Eli and Fredy. So put your hands